started. It's a little after 12, so thanks all for being here. It's great to have you all here. I'm Terry. I'm the director of the museum. I think we have one on Zoom. Hello. And so it's May is membership month. If you are not a museum member or need to renew, please do so during this month, and you could get entered into a drawing to win a $100 gift certificate from the museum. Or if you become a donor of $125 or more, you'll get into a contest to win 2 tickets to our fall fundraiser at Riverside Reception, September 14th. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then this Saturday, we're having a special open house at the Viking ship. So you should have gotten this in the mail, hopefully, if you're a member. So from 10 to 12, you can come. It's an open house, like I said. Come and tour the ship and get to hear the story about the exhibit and get to see the ship in person. So, and then we're doing a fun thing where if you become a member of the Friends of the Viking ship that day, you get entered into a raffle to win a $100 gift card to Stockholm's. So that's pretty cool. That's worthwhile. So hope to see you there Saturday. And then also wanted to let you know that this is our last brown bag for this season. I did put some calendars out. There's more at the front desk. Our new season will start next September with new brown bags. And we've got a lot of cool ones lined up for you. And we do encourage membership. So we're going to have a new thing starting next year where members get in free to brown bags like this. And if you're not a member, I believe it's a $5 entry fee. But that's just to encourage membership and to help know what we're doing here at the museum and to support us. So, and we will no longer be doing Zoom. I think we only have one, or maybe 3. It says down there. One? Oh, just one. That's just me, you, and the other person. I guess. So yeah, that makes sense. But we are going to record these programs continually, and there'll be a special page on our website where only members can view the recording. So another reason to become a museum member. We're trying to really give those initiatives to help us support the museum. So thank you for your patience in some of these changes, but I think it'll help the museum and continue to do well. So I'm going to turn it over to Heidi. Heidi and I both worked at Geneva High School. I'm a 1982 grad and a granddaughter of a grad. So Vikings in my blood, my blue blood. Heidi and I both worked there for 10 years and did a lot of work with the Viking mascot and so on. I'll let her tell you the stories, but I'm going to get her set up and turn it over to her. How many Viking grads do we have in here? Got another one walking in the room. Nice. Good to see that. That's awesome. But hopefully you'll learn something new. We sure did doing this research. So share my screen, did I? Sorry. See all this Zoom stuff. It's like, can't wait for some of this to go away. Okay. Oh, I hope I choose the right one. I think it's this one. Okay. Good. Marky, is that better now? Okay, thank you. Sorry, I almost forgot to do that. All right, now I'll turn it over to her.
Then you can turn my lights. She's my audio visual girl. I can click the button. There we go. Well, here in Geneva, we are the Vikings, and I saw some hands. Vikings, what years do we have out here? Anybody want to tell me? 61? 69. 63. All right. 59. All right. Yeah, we have some out there. And we're going to talk about mascots. I did, like Terry said, I did not graduate from Geneva High School, but I have 2 children that graduated. I did teach there, and it was involved with the sports boosters, the PTO, and spirit wear, and the mascot. So I have a knowledge of what's going on. Let's talk first a little history of Geneva High School. Our first school building opened in 1855 on 3rd Street, just right here where the post office is. And secondary classes started in 1873, in which at the high school, and it consisted of only 3 years of study. The first graduating class was in 1876, was 2 students, John and Julia. Made it real easy for reunions. Julia would have had to say, "Hey, John, come on over." They did not get married. That's a good question. And in 1889, it changed to a 4-year class of study, so 4 years. It used to be 3 years. That's something new that I learned. And in 1924, this new school was built on Peyton Avenue, which most of us, if you're from Geneva, know Cold Trap. And it cost $205,000 to build. And then in 1958, the current high school was built. It was enlarged in 1964, 68, and 76 is when the auditorium and gym were added onto it. And then in 2001, the expansion changed and the entrance moved to McKinley Avenue. Anybody have any idea how many are in the current graduating class? 417. They have never hit 500. They've been real close. In 2007, I think my daughter's class was right up there, but they've never hit 500. All right, now let's go back to mascots and logos. A team mascot is one of the most cherished traditions in sports. They weren't always in the giant costume and funny dances, but they've always served a sense of pride and unity between the team and the fans. Many believe that mascot are uniquely American, but the word mascot actually comes from the French word mascot, meaning lucky charm. One of the first mascots in history was Handsome Dan. 92, he attended from Yale University. He's a Yale Bulldog. He came to every game. He was a ferocious attitude and winning spirit, especially against the rival Harvard University. However, things changed in the 60s thanks to the Muppets. Americans were mesmerized by these fun, fuzzy characters, which led to cute animals and animated team ambassadors that we know today. And here's some of those fun ones. And our own Benny the Bull. Now, I've checked on lots of different sites and done lots of research, and there are 4 of the top high school, these are high school mascots, are the Eagles, Bulldogs, Tigers, and Lions. Anybody that's not from Geneva, a tiger or lion or eagle or bulldog? Bulldog? Frog. Lake Forest frogs. All right. Well, I know there's a school out there that are the Maple Leafs, so nothing stronger than a fighting Maple Leaf, you know? So why Vikings in Geneva, Illinois? In the early 1900s, more than half of Geneva's population was Swedish. The city summer festival, Swedish Days, started in 1949, and that celebration continues on each June. And it was in the 1940s when we began finding Vikings as a mascot for Geneva High School. Now, we have looked through newspapers, yearbooks, and all the photos that we have for anything Vikings. And here's what we found about the Vikings and how it has evolved throughout the years. The Viking nickname was first used in the 1930s by Geneva's arch rival to the south, Batavia High School. The population of Batavia was not as Swedish, so the name didn't stick. In 1944, Geneva Community High School began using Vikings. Most teams before that were known by their colors. Geneva's was the blue and whites. This article says, displaying the tightest defense they have shown at any time this year, the Fighting Geneva basketball team almost scored the biggest upset on the season last Friday against Batavia. The Vikings finally won with a score of 18-17. Now, Terry and I were reading this going, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense, but it was the Batavia Vikings. Geneva almost scored staged a last quarter rally, and the entire capacity crowd was on its feet yelling. By the way, Geneva did not score a single basket in the first half. Yikes. And at least Geneva had 6 shots that missed in the final 2 minutes, of which could have won the game for the blue and white. So Geneva is the blue and white and Batavia is the Vikings. It was a barn burner at 18-17 there. So that was 1934. So that's very confusing for us to read. We're going, wait a minute, we have to go back to that again. And then we found the first known written Vikings in the yearbooks. We have Viking yearbook or a Geneva book backs to 1924. So we started there and looked through. And this is the first one we saw in print from the 1944 yearbook using Vikings for the football team. But nothing's printed on uniforms or anything, but that was our first word that we found. Oh, yes. In the book. In 1945, the Geneva Republican newspaper said Geneva teams play Sycamore on the home field tomorrow. Sycamore has lost 2 conference games, but they will be primed to upset the Vikings. Come out, Viking fans, and let's support our teams. So that was in the newspaper we found. And in 1948, the Viking was used for the first time as the title of the yearbook. Over the years, it's been used as a nickname, and the look of the Viking has changed several times, but the yearbook to this day is still the Viking. I've confirmed that with Tom Rogers, the principal, that it is still called the Viking. 1949, it says, scoring a touchdown in each quarter, Geneva Vikings trimmed the Batavia Bulldogs 25-12 last Friday night in a game that was only close for 2 quarters. And this is from the 1950 yearbook, Geneva Vikings win. Now this is the first logo, Viking logo on a shirt. That wasn't just the words. On the physical education uniforms, odd that we would put that in the 1958 yearbook. Interesting picture for the yearbook. The phys ed uniforms. And here's more. But they're not on the athletic jerseys, but they're on the PE uniforms. 1960, the cover. And notice we have a ship logo now. We found one ship logo that was a colonial ship, and we thought that was a stock picture. And so as we looked through there, we tried to pick out words that said Vikings, and there weren't very many to start off with. And here's a sign in the gymnasium, 61. 1961 yearbook cover. Finally a Viking and not just the words. Thought that was a good looking guy. He has the cape, so we'll talk about that cape later. Did the drawing? Yeah, write that down for us. We'd love to know that. Yeah, that's a great one. In 1961, Coach Schick with the words Vikings on his shirt. Nothing on the boys' uniforms. There's nothing on the back. But then not just sports, but we have the first Viking Review student talent show in 1963, and it's still a tradition that goes on today. Anybody here was in the Viking Review? 1963 yearbook. You see the logo. You see this same logo on several jackets. I would love to know if this was somebody drew it or where they got this one. They didn't have what's the word? Clip art and computers to do that. But notice the Viking is facing left. Now most logos face right today because that means looking towards the future. There are several that still face left, the Philadelphia Eagles, because they want the E on the Eagles. See the E on his feathers? So he's facing left. They kept it left. I didn't know that when we were asking that. My son's a graphic designer and he said, no, if you look, most logos face right. And here is the 1964 yearbook, still a Viking with a Viking ship on it. Here's the logo again, that same logo again on the coach's sports coat, but not on the uniforms. (1967) homecoming parade. Anybody in there?
Yeah.
Coach Schick and Ostetter. And a football bust out before it went through. 1969 Spirit Club. Marcia, are you in this one?
No.
And this was at the older stadium, the original stadium on, not where they are today. And now we have two Vikings, Viking on the left chest and Coach Schick has one in his pocket. Different on the jersey in 1970. We started noticing that students pictured in the yearbooks did not wear Viking sweatshirts or t-shirts because that's just not what they wore to school at those days. Screen printing had just become popular in the late 60s and clothing to school started to change. Because nowadays you can get any type of jersey shirt you want or a logo on your shirt. But screen printing wasn't available. And we're in the Midwest, so things tend to get a little slower coming out here. 71, the first football jersey with a Viking on it. This is I call it the Minnesota Viking. Mm-hmm. He's facing left. We have one tennis player with a Viking, 1972. 1973, we have two different Vikings. But not on jersey, just a logo. And here's the first time we saw the words on the basketball uniforms, 1974. (1974) Pep Club. He looks like a sad Viking. 75 football coach Ostetter and his Viking. This is a different Viking. You never knew how many different Viking pictures there were. And then our hockey club. We found that the hockey team is the most consistent, having a Viking on their jersey. It was a club team, but I believe I would love to know who drew that one too, because it looks hand drawn. I don't know the coach. And here we have the 1976 football team that went downstate, and look what they have, Vikings on their jerseys. Anybody from this group? My sister's first husband. Then we have at a pep assembly in 1976, Weldon Johnson, an alum of Geneva High School. He was well known for his costume in the Swedish Days Parade too. I'm sorry? His Viking office supply. 1977, Vikings on their jerseys. Now, I don't know if we had, nowadays you have, if you're in Geneva and you're playing, you would have Vikings on your jersey. If you were playing in Batavia, you'd have Geneva on your jerseys, like pro teams and things like this. So were all the jerseys taken pictures at home and pose pictures? We have other pictures of them playing, but they're at home. So did they have another one that said Geneva? We have two jerseys back then? I don't know, but do note the red accent color. And nice pants on Coach there. The fashions are fun to watch. 77, the marching band with the Vikings on it. The band is into it too. And the pom-pom team, a different new Viking. Now, I don't know what he has, he has wings on his helmet. Yeah. We have that patch out here in the glass case. And he's looking left. In 1979, student Sue Spencer was a self-appointed mascot, made her own costume. Self-appointed mascot. 1979 yearbook. I like this one with the Geneva at the top and the flag and the 79 at the bottom. You see the 79? I wonder if someone drew that one also. Now, 1980. This was on the wall of the Mac Olson Gym. Notice the fights or pep song and the alma mater song. They never mentioned Vikings. But the alma mater has blue and white in it. Now think about your school song. Go ahead, sing it in your head. Your own high school song. But most songs were developed before Viking mascots were popular. Because ours was 1931, Geneva High School was 31 before we were Vikings. I mean, think of your college song too in your head. There's no mention of your mascot. 1981 the Geneva Viking marching band in the shape of a G out there. Another yearbook drawing. He has his phys ed shorts on. Yeah. You can write your name on it. 1986. Scott Finson.
He's an attorney now. Yeah.
1990, we have Geneva Vikings on the baseball shirt. 1992 on the uniform, cheer uniform. 1993 football helmet. Coach Oxtetter came back for 2 years and wanted to try something new. That was the only time they've ever used the Minnesota Viking style helmet. (1993), a different Viking still facing left on the program. Yearbook. I wonder if that one, it looks like there's, well, it looks like there's a signature at the bottom of him, but you can't, or is it just a part of his jersey? But
I love that.
Yeah. Mac Olson Gym with the GV logo in the middle. (1999) freshman girls basketball. Now these were probably hand-me-down jerseys because you remember varsity got the good ones and then they slowly trickled down to the freshmen. And usually the coaches get to pick what uniform they have, so it's up to the coaches. 2000, the ship comes into play. This lasts for a little while. And in 2000, we got Eric Zimmerstrad to be the Viking mascot. So we actually had a mascot with a outfit and his shield with him. Here's cross country. We did notice that track was the one team that never showed any Viking or Geneva on their uniform. They just had plain blue, white, and with a little red on it. In all the pictures of the yearbook, track never had where they were from. But this Viking is facing right. And here's a cartoon drawing. I know that guy. That's my son. And you can see his Viking over there. Both of them. Both of them well. Girls basketball, girls varsity basketball in 2002. Here's that same boy I know. Baseball 2002. Now, you're wondering, I asked him, this is my son. I said, what's with the P on the helmet? Because we're looking at logos and stuff. And he said, I don't know. So the current AD, Matt Hahn, came in and said, oh, I remember that day. I'm like, tell me the story. So this is a home game because we're Vikings. And it was picture day. And the umpire said that your helmets, to the home team, that your helmets are not legal. So he wouldn't let them wear the helmets. So they had to wear the opposing team's helmets. Can you imagine how sweaty those were? So they borrowed them from the other team. And of course, it was picture day. It was Glenbard North Panthers. So that's why there's a P on the helmet. In 2002, safety-wise, the umpire decided they weren't. The first Viking mascot costume on the left, that's the original one, and then the new costume, updated costume. Well, that is that picture that you're looking at over there. Oh, well, I made that. So it just came from the drawing that's on the wall over there. And we had it made, and it was very hot. And the horns had to be replaced a couple of times because people would come up and grab them by the horns. Are you wearing it? Sorry? No, I was not. I did try it on though. And then we have 2002, the crest came about, and I'll get a better picture of this. This is Dr. Fantozzi, the principal. And here's the crest for Geneva High School. The new crest, it represents the many core values of Geneva Community High School. Hold dear. The symbol of the tree is an intricate part of Geneva. The tree is the most widely used in the community as a symbol, including the city of Geneva seal. It is also an important part of Scandinavian culture, where the tree is the symbol of wisdom. In the branches of the tree are the three symbols: the lamp of knowledge and truth, the handshake, and the key. The lamp of knowledge and truth is a symbol of enlightenment. The handshake represents the ideals of friendship, fair play, and sportsmanship. The key represents unlocking the doorway to education, culture, and friendship. The laurel leaves on the side of the crest are symbols of the achievements of the members of Geneva Community High School family. Finally, at the top of the crest is the mighty Viking, the proud mascot of Geneva Community High School. And notice he's looking right. That's on the floor when you walk in the main entrance. And here's that guy in homecoming parade. And then 2004, we were looking for spirit wear, and you couldn't just find it. I mean, nowadays you can find it at Walmart. It says Geneva Vikings. But I took it upon myself with in the sports boosters with Andy Brichette, and we were trying to decide how many we should buy. We said, do we buy 25 sweatshirts? Maybe. And the one in the far left corner says Geneva Vikings. That was our sweatshirt. We thought, okay, should we buy 50? okay, let's buy 50 and just see what happens. We're gonna sell them for, I don't think we sold them for that money, like $25, $30. So let's just see. And so there's always a parent meeting before the corn boil. Everybody familiar with the corn boil? The corn boil is the first day of school. What do we call the corn boil? A celebration of sports teams and things like that. And everybody's introduced and you get corn. And so we thought we'll sell it. Well, the parent meeting the night before we sold out. And we had to reorder. I have one too. I still have one and that's it's about 20 years old now. It's out in the garage, but I still have my original sweatshirt, but that was an scary undertaking of spirit wear. And then we have this guy. He's the you have to have a bobblehead and he's made after that cartoon picture. I have my bobblehead right here with me. Does anybody have a bobblehead? She donated hers. Well, if you did have a bobblehead, you have to order them a gross of them, and it's just 144. So I thought, okay. And they send you if you ever ordered anything like this, they send you the proofs, and here's what it looks like, and back and forth. And my son's in college now, so I kept sending it to him. And does it look okay? And does his back look okay? He's got his cape on, and he's looking manly, and he's standing there. And I thought, okay. So we sent it away, and they came in. So I got the box and I opened him up, looked at him and went, oh! He had no pants on. Just bare naked underneath there. And I said, I can't sell these. And they're all in little plastic things in foam and they're little, all protected. So our daughter helped me open them all up. I grabbed my paintbrush. Brown paint and I painted shorts on all 144. So if you have one and you would like me to sign it, because I feel free to bring it here and I'm happy to sign it. So he's special hand painted shorts. Yeah, because I remember I looked at him and went, ooh. Naked little man there. So if you know somebody that needs it be happy to sign it, hand painted. And here's our mascot. We got the new mascot in 2012. He has a fan in his helmet that helps him cool. Not a big cooling, but it keeps the air going. And a better helmet on. And now we have Vikings just about anywhere you can look. On the water tower out by the ball fields. Going into the main entrance is the mural, and I can't remember which class donated that one. And then this is the stained glass window at the athletic entrance, and yes, I know it's backwards, but if you take a picture from the outside, you can't see it because there's a safety plexiglass on the outside to protect it. But Geneva Vikings there. Yeah, he was on that one too. Contest Jim, he was on this one too, this committee. So on the back, the mats on behind the baskets. That one looks a little worn there on the right there. And then of course we have the new turf football field with our Vikings. And then by the athletic entrance, we have, this is a class of 2013, the Viking, sculptured art by Joseph. And then our new one, if you've not noticed her, Valkyrie, is class of 2020, donated the money for her. She's on the Logan Street entrance. And if you've not seen her, she is a powerful woman. Don't mess with her. She's really neat to look at. Anybody have any Viking memories they want, logos they want to share? Yes, dear. Image. It looks like it had some stories to tell. Yeah, there was not a lot. We looked back at the pictures of the students and everybody has a collared shirt on and not jeans and until the late seventies when things changed a little bit. Well, and then they went through the hoodie stage where everybody had a hooded sweatshirt on and that, but anyone else have any questions or maybe that brought back some good memories?
Mention this in the room. The, this is our. Is Heidi made the. And some other. In the Swedish.
Thank you. Yeah. Or if you have any other Viking. We exhibit in the hallway, because the exhibit in the hallway is a lot of what